Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be front and center. You can watch this program on our Facebook and YouTube channel, Radyo Pilipinas World Service, and you can hear this broadcast on our audio streaming over Evox PBS receiver app, also on our shortwave broadcast through shortwave frequencies 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. This is your host, Jerome Toledo. Let's begin Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Before we head to our guest for today, as we are going to discuss about the rampant and illegal and heinous sale of our infants, as authorities conducted series of arrests of two individuals involved in illegal sale of infants here in the Philippines. We will have a discussion first on the LEDA priority bills that is being pushed through by the Marcos Jr. administration. As House Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Sandro Marcos of Ilocos Norte said, the Legislative, Executive or Development Advisory Council or LEDAC has expanded its common legislative agenda to 52 measures after 4 additional bills, including the proposed abolition of the travel tax, were adopted as priorities. Representative Marcos said the inclusion brings the original 48 LEDAC priority measures to 52, reflecting what he described as a sharpened focus on economic relief, digital accountability, child protection, and political stability. And Marcos said in a statement that the LEDAC agreed to add 4 more measures to the agenda, bringing the total to 52. So these are bills that respond to urgent needs and real concerns of the public. Among the newly added measures is the House Bill number 7443, filed by Majority Leader Marcos, or the presidential son, which seeks to abolish the travel tax, a levy that has long outlived its purpose and now works against tourism growth and economic recovery, as he puts it. So, Representative Marcos said that this is not just about the policy tweak. This is a pro-people measure that supports jobs, tourism, and family travel. The data and public sentiment are clear. The travel tax now works against the economic goals of the Philippines. Aside from the abolition of the travel tax, Marcos said the LEDAC also elevated 3 other measures. One of them is expanded anti-online sexual abuse or exploitation of children, or OSAEC, and anti-child sexual abuse or exploitation materials, Act of 2026. Another one is a bill addressing fake news and digital disinformation, and a proposal resetting the elections in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARM. He said placing the measure on the LEDAC priority would accelerate its movement in the Congress, particularly in the 20th Congress, through close coordination between the House and the Senate. And with the expanded LEDAC agenda now in place, Representative Marcos said the House, under the leadership of Speaker Faustino D. III, stands ready to act swiftly on the newly added measures once they move through the legislative process. Earlier, Marcos vowed to push a faster and more disciplined pace in the House of Representatives to approve those LEDAC bills or measures. And Marcos said the House intends to keep President Marcos' legislative agenda on track while sharpening its focus on reforms that immediately touch household food, healthcare access, classroom needs, and social protection, areas he described as where the public service meets most tangible. And among the 12 LEDAC measures already approved on the third and final reading of the Congress, as Marcos cited, reforms meant to close governance and service gaps, including the following: the EPIRA amendment. So I think this is the energy related agenda to strengthen the Regulatory Commission's oversight and consumer protections powers, the waste to energy bill on waste treatment technology. Meanwhile, on health sector, among the LEDAC priority bills or measures is the National Center for Geriatric Health, amendments to the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act. So now we're talking about the education sector. And also on social welfare, the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situations or AICS Act, amendments to the National Building Code, and we're now talking about the infrastructure, the Blue Economy Act, the National Reintegration Bill involving our overseas Filipino workers, amendments to the Teachers Professionalization Act, the extension of the estate tax amnesty period, and the Department of Water Resources Bill, and amendments to the bank's deposit secrecy law. With the 40 bills still pending, Marcos said the House will prioritize LEDAC measures on agriculture, health, education, and social welfare, as we stated earlier, by moving faster on committee deliberations and strengthening coordinations ahead of plenary debates to avoid unnecessary delays once the measures reach the floor. Meanwhile, on agriculture and food security, Marcos highlighted the pending amendments to the rice tariffication law, amendments to the fisheries code, and amendments to the Coconut Farmers and Industry Trust Fund Act as key priorities as the House works to reinforce both production support, market stability, and safeguards for both farmers and consumers. And on health, he pointed out, Representative Marcos pointed out, the pending amendments to the Universal Health Care Act as among the reforms the House aims to push forward rather as lawmakers continue to review how the system can expand access, improve delivery, and keep services responsive to the patient realities on the ground. And on education, Marcos cited the Classroom Building Acceleration Program and amendments to the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, amendments to Local Government Code on the Special Education Fund as part of the House priority track, alongside measures that strengthen support for learners and help schools cope with the day-to-day pressure of resources and facilities. On social welfare, he singled out the pending amendments to the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program or 4Ps, amendments to Masustansyang Pagkain para sa Batang Pilipino Act as measures the House intends to advance. Marcos said the other pending LEDAC measures in the House work program include bill modernizing the Bureau of Immigration, the Land Use Act, Independent People's Commission, Presidential Merit Scholarship Program, the second waste to energy bill, and proposed excise tax on single-use plastics. And also included are the following: Philippine Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Act, Basis and Conversion and Development Authority, Disaster Risk Financing Insurance, amendments to the Magna Carta for MSMEs or Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises, and the Right to Information Bill. Also included in the agenda is the reprogramming of the Seal of Good Local Governance, General Tax Amnesty Bill, the proposed law on online gambling, Master Plan for Infrastructure and National Development, the Progressive Budgeting for Better and Modernized Governance Act, measure disqualifying relatives of officials up to the fourth degree from certain government contracts, the Cybersecurity Act, digital payments, or the bill on fair use of social media, artificial intelligence and internet technology in elections, the Magna Carta for barangays, downstream or amendments to the downstream oil industry deregulation law, the Biofuels Act, proposal requiring civil servants to waive bank secrecy, amendments to the Anti-Money Laundering Act, the Citizens Access and Disclosures of Expenditures for National Accountability or Cadena Act, and the Anti-Political Dynasty Bill and the Party-list System Reform Act. So that's those included in the LEDAC bills, and all of them are being prioritized by the Marcos Jr. administration. So let's proceed here to the to our topic for today regarding the illegal sale of our infants here in the country. Because there was a report that two infants were rescued by the Philippine National Police Women and Children Protection Center, Luzon Field Unit, and separate entrapment and rescue operations conducted on February 4 in Pampanga and Bulacan. Four suspects were arrested for allegedly attempting to sell the infants for 30,000 pesos and 130,000 pesos, and will be charged for violating the Section 4K of the Republic Act number 9208, or the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act, as amended by Republic Act 11862. And also on the same side, the Council for the Welfare of Children expressed full support for the National Authority for Child Care and the Philippine National Police Women and Children Protection Center in the campaign against baby selling and other forms of child trafficking. So, following the high profile rescue operations in Pampanga and Bulacan just this week, the government is drawing a line in the sand against child trafficking and also this illegal sale of babies. So, joining us today to discuss the crackdown on this black market, and this is a heinous operation as the authorities are continuously cracking down of this illegal activity and the protection of the Filipino child. So we are now joined by Director 3, Operations and Services of the National Authority for Child Care, Director Imelda R. Ronda. Good morning, Director Ronda. Thank you so much for joining us in the program Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is Jerome Toledo.
Yes, good morning, Sir Jerome, and to your viewers. Then thank you for having us.
All right. So yeah, this week we saw reports of infants being
Mm,
rescued in first one in Angeles City in
Yeah.
Pampanga province, and also in Baliwag
Mm.
in Bulacan for prices ranging from 30,000 to 130,000 pesos. So can you give us an update on the condition of these children that were saved, and where are they now, Director?
Yes, thank you. So the rescued children are now under the care of a registered, licensed, and certified child caring agencies and government-led facilities. One is a 2-day-old at the time of the rescue, while the other one is a 3-month-old female infant. They were both sold by their families, and upon rescue, they receive appropriate medical attention. So the NACC facilitated the admission of one of them at the neonatal intensive care unit due to a contracted infection, and we are also coordinated their temporary placement to our partner Safe Havens or Child Caring Agency. And then ACC will be meeting with the Safe Havens management team next week to ensure that the children are provided with a permanency plan. And through our social worker, we should be able to ascertain the child's custody and whether a relative or a kin is willing to and capable of caring for the child. And if
Mm,
that is the case, they should be able to pass the what we call the parenting capability assessment to be conducted by a social worker. But if not, if they are not found capable to care for these children, the children's eligibility for alternative child care like foster care or domestic adoption will be done for the best interest of the children. As to the biological parents or the ones who sold them, they
mm,
are now incarcerated, and we recognize that they still possess their liberties, including parental rights, until such time that they are proven guilty of the charges. So
Mm-hmm.
either way, they can surrender their child now to the state through the execution of what we call the deed of voluntary commitment would be necessary for them. So, but if they are not willing to surrender their parental rights over the children.
Mm-hmm.
Another option would be to file for involuntary commitment of the child. So this process involves the court where we need to file for involuntary commitment of the children. It's the court who will decide to terminate the parental authority of these parents who sold their
Mm-hmm.
children.
That's clear, and our legal system will determine if those parents of those children saved by authorities will be having their parental custody of those children safe, and it's good thing that the children is now in the safe hands of you mentioned a safe haven. So is this a government shelter agency or
It,
uh,
it's a
private?
private agency,
Mm-hmm.
and we all the other child is in a government facility.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. And they're being taken care of a registered social worker director, Rhonda. Okay. So great. So on NACC's monitoring director. So how rampant is this online baby market in the Philippines? Imagine being a newborn baby out of poverty. Parents are tempted to sell their babies in just. Uh, 100,000 pesos. It's unthinkable, unimaginable thing to do as a parent. So we heard reports that at least 8 Facebook groups were being monitored as of January this year. Has that number grown?
Since January 17, we've reported to the PNP Women and Children Protection Center a list consisting of these 8 active Facebook groups, which serve as platforms for illegal adoption and online baby selling. So as to date, there are no other new groups, but I suspect there are more because of the algorithms
Mm,
which may limit our search to a specific geographical location, languages, or dialects and other factors.
mm,
It remains risky because child trafficking is happening under our noses,
mm,
preying on vulnerable children and families, including those desperate parents who sell their young children. So this rampancy on this situation may also be attributed to the PNP WCPC's heightened operation since January this year. So,
mm,
as of February 4, actually, there have been 20 entrapment and rescue operations that intercepted the attempted sale of 22 victims. And the PNP WCPC has already apprehended 32 perpetrators.
mm,
So this 2026 alone, since January, we're just, 2 months of this
right.
year. There were already 7 rescue operations
Mm,
from the PNP anti-cybercrime group, which they also successfully conducted 2 operations in January, but we still have to meet with them to discuss the details and coordinate the children's temporary custody and care.
so we're just 2 months of this year, and yet we have cracked down seven
Yeah.
operations of this illegal and I think I should word it heinous activity involving our children. So it needs to be cracked down by authorities as it's really endangering our children, our infants, and they're being taken away of
Mm.
opportunities that they need to experience. Director Ronda. So, in the recent cases, such as this in Pampanga, in Bulacan, parents cited the reason for selling their child or their infants, the poverty and medical expenses as reasons for selling their newborn babies. So, from the agency's perspective, director, so is this strictly a poverty issue, or are organized syndicates exploiting the situation, the circumstances, the vulnerabilities of our parents?
Yes, only the courts can determine whether it is an organized crime or a syndicate as prescribed by our law.
Mm,
We have cases where 3 to 5 suspects were allegedly involved, and it is up to the Department of Justice to determine the charges based on direct evidence presented.
mm,
In regards to poverty as reason, setting aside the issue of morality in this situation, I believe poverty is a major factor as to why parents become so desperate to reach this point, this point of selling their children for whatever reasons they have. However, from the perspective of a social worker, these parents or these persons involved should not be judged because maybe it could be their survival behavior also, and their action may have been limited by their perspective or by the support and intervention of the government itself. So we cannot also, blame them to because of the desperate situation, they resorted to this kind of actions to their children. We might say that selling a child to fund a business um, is 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 like, pathetic
oh, yeah,
reason, but we must
absolutely.
understood that to them it could be also a life changing action.
Mm,
So
right.
that's our perspective. I'm a social worker. That's my perspective, that we need to look into on
Mm,
the side of those parents that sell their children. They also need to be given uh, intervention and
mm,
support from our government, because
mm,
they said it's rampant. The reason is poverty. So, we are all Filipinos. We
yeah.
stay we are here in we are all citizen of the Philippines. So it's
Mm,
not just
right,
the
right.
child that should be protected. It also should be We also should give support and protection to parents so that they will not resort to this kind of action where
Mm-hmm.
their children are, not protected.
Okay, so that's a call to action to
Mhm.
our to government, particularly in
Yeah.
the national, but also on the local side, because
Yes.
yes, because they're pretty much involved, because as we mentioned, two operations were conducted in the provinces,
Mhm.
in areas, uh, because uh, I don't have the data of what's the economic status of that area, but
Mhm.
to give given that the babies were sold for 30,000 and 130,000
Mhm.
pesos, so it says something about the economic situation there in that particular area where those babies or parents live there. All right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, for this black market, Director Ronda. So,
Mhm.
how exactly are these black market groups operating under the radar? And also, this operation involves right now social media use. So, how is Meta or other social media networks are cooperating with the NACC and law enforcement agencies to stop this?
Mhm. It's not actually just under the radar, because it happens under our nose, right in front of
Yeah.
us in broad daylight.
Yeah.
So it's easy to find these Facebook groups. Actually, our Undersecretary Janela Ejercito Estrada did so back in 2022 when she was trying to find actually the pages of our stakeholders and partners. So since 2022, she Yusek Janela, so this Facebook group. So at least with the NACC, we coordinated with Facebook Meta, but unfortunately the coordination is almost unreliable. So in
All
2024,
right.
Facebook Meta met with us together with DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian.
Okay.
While I think in early 2025, there was supposed to be a meeting with their technical people, but
Mm-mm.
it did not push through. So we
Okay.
are, however, grateful that in November last year, they immediately responded to our request to take
Okay.
down 16 active Facebook groups at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they have taken down 11 out of the 16 Facebook groups, and we reported them also to the PNP anti-cybercrime group. So we are
Mm-mm.
hoping that we could do more together,
Mm-hmm.
and that it will be consistent because the so-called criminals are very innovative and
Yeah, right,
very
right.
resilient.
They're getting
So
smarter
they
by the
keep
day.
on resurfacing simply by changing their account names on
Yes.
Facebook. They take their time. They definitely know how to go around the Facebook community
Mm-mm.
standards. So I believe that
Right.
it's the platform's legal and moral obligation
Yeah.
also to make their business safe for the vulnerable
Mm-mm.
sectors, especially the children and their families.
And that's also a call to action to social media networks or social media sites to have moral obligations because these activities are happening in their platforms itself. Mm. So, okay, so given that you mentioned because the social media network sites is not actively responding to your queries or to your cooperative requests to take down these pages or groups. So, what can what can NACC advise or do this time? Because although there are lots of activities that you're doing. You mentioned about the series of takedowns of groups. So, what can NACC do?
Okay. So actually, part of our public information is, we are very happy that the media is, partnering with us to disseminate correct information about legal adoption in the Philippines. Because there are consequences for those aiding and abetting the sellers
Mm-mm.
committing this illegal adoption, which is in violation of Republic Act number 11642 or the Domestic Administrative Adoption and Alternative Child Care Act, which is it's punishable by imprisonment from
Mm-mm.
6 years to 1 day to 12 years. And under our Qualified Trafficking Act,
Mm-mm.
the expanded Anti-Trafficking Act in Persons of 2022, the crime is non-bailable and could penalize lifetime imprisonment.
Mm-mm.
Doon po sa those who are selling and aiding and buying the children. And this is also in violation to our Republic Act 7610,
Mm-mm.
which is the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act.
Mm-mm.
So for the NACC, the administrative adoption under Republic Act 11642 made the legal adoption simpler, less costly, and timely. If
Okay.
complete in substance and in form, a petition for adoption, administrative petition for adoption may be decided upon by the NACC
Well.
because we
Mm.
are a quasi-judicial body within 6 to 9 months
Mm.
from the time of the
Okay.
filing of their petition.
Okay. So you mentioned about the agencies now a quasi judicial agency. And also adoption is has now become an administrative process than a legal one. So it and the adoption can now be finalized in just a short time without having a
Yes.
lawyer.
Yes, there's no need to engage the expertise of a law practitioner, as it
Mm.
is now the NACC and our regional alternative child care officers, social workers, who will help the petitioners file for their adoption petition at the NACC.
Mm-mm.
They will just have to, apply as prospective adoptive parents and attend our pre-adoption forum where they could gather all information they need to be able to file for a petition. A social worker, they would need the services of a licensed and registered social worker to help them in their process and petition for domestic administrative adoption.
Okay. So, can you clarify this one, Director Ronda, the costs involved in the NACC's
Mhm.
legal process uh, versus the legal route?
Yeah, so the NACC does not collect fees or any service or administrative cost. It's free. They don't need to pay for
Mm,
application fee, for processing fee, etc. The only cost that the prospective adoptive parents need to pay is, of course, for securing the basic documentary requirements like they need to submit for the birth certificate, marriage certificate, police and NBI clearance, medical evaluation, psychological evaluation. Of course, they need to pay that to the service providers.
mm,
So, but for the NECC, when they file the petition for adoption, they don't need to pay anything.
mm,
It's free.
That's good to know. And the same time, the process becomes, I think, rather simple, and it doesn't involve any a lawyer to handle
Yeah.
this adoption proceedings rather. So. Okay, so jumping to this question, Director. So, if a parent truly cannot support their child, what is the legal surrender process so they do not resort to selling them online?
Yes, yes. They must actually voluntarily surrender their parental authority through
Mm,
their local social welfare and development offices,
mm,
the social workers there in their municipality or city, or any office of the DSWD, or child caring agency or child placing agency. So the social workers can provide them with counseling and help them explore and decide upon their possible options.
mm, mm,
For example, temporary economic relief or livelihood opportunities,
mm,
so
mm,
they can actually get back on their feet and be able to care and provide for their families, because it is actually our policy that children should be cared for by their own parents,
mm, mm,
rather than resorting to adoption or providing other alternative care or voluntarily surrendering their parental rights. So
mm,
they need to go through their local social welfare and development office or the DSWD
mm. Okay.
to be engaged in the to engage the services of a social worker who can help them, who can counsel them and provide them option of not surrendering
Mm,
actually their
mm, yeah.
child for adoption.
Okay.
So this actually is being facilitated by a social worker, because we have to ensure that the state can also provide the proper services and intervention to these parents who would like to surrender their children for adoption.
Okay. All right. I wonder, Director Ronda, since this program is intended for our foreign audience and also to the Filipino diasporas all over the world. So, uh, I I would like to know if a foreigner has underwent in adoption process here through your agency, Director.
Yes, we also process intercountry adoption of Filipino
Mm,
children to be adopted by foreigners. So actually, we have a law, Republic Act 8043, or the Intercountry Adoption Act of 1995, which
mm,
was already amended by this Republic Act 11642. So we process intercountry adoption. And these foreigners, they also went through a rigorous process of assessment.
mm, mm,
We have partner foreign adoption agency all over the world. We
mm,
do not just work with any agency.
mm,
They
mm,
have to be accredited by the NACC to do intercountry adoption program in the Philippines. So we can assure you that even if foreigners are the one adopting, they
mm.
go through the rigorous assessment of the
Mm,
NACC.
So it's same. So regardless if you're Filipino or foreigner, you will
Yeah.
undergo the same legal process that
Mhm.
NACC implemented when it comes to adoption or to adopting a child, Filipino child.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I wonder. Apologize if I jump again to
Mm.
the issue of the baby selling here. So,
Mhm.
do you receive reports of foreign nationals or foreign entity involved in this process?
Mhm. Actually, for the online baby selling, there's no involvement of foreigners. It's mostly Filipinos here in the Philippines.
And those babies are being turned over illegally to Filipino families only. Is that correct, Director Ronda?
Yes, yes, yes. For the those rescued by the PNPWCPC is for it's Filipino
Families.
families who are involved. No foreigners involved in this cases.
uh, if that should we don't we hope it doesn't happen, but should this happens, if a child has been bought by a foreign national, what can NACC do? How can they cooperate with this with the international agencies or entities?
Mhm. We coordinate with the PNPWCPC and the NBI and the Department of Justice or the IACAT. So it's the Department of Justice who would pursue cases for these foreigners through all the legal means that we have.
Oh, okay, okay, very well said. Okay, so just a few more questions here before I let you go, Director Ronda. So, if someone sees a suspicious post or groups on social media, particularly on Facebook, on Instagram, or TikTok, or any platforms, offering a baby for adoption, how can they report? What is the fastest way to report this illegal activity to authorities, particularly the NACC?
Yes. I want to clarify that any adoption that eludes the legal process via the NACC is illegal.
Mm.
All the rest, whether with or no monetary consideration, constitute illegal adoption. That is why we encourage everyone to be vigilant and help us intercept these cases of illegal adoption so they can report to us, to
Mm-mm.
their barangay, to the police, to the DSWD, or to the local social welfare and development office. We have our landline and
Mm-hmm.
mobile number.
Yeah.
It's 0917-322-6222,
Mm.
or they can email us at adoption@nacc.gov.ph. We are also present on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, and they can send message to these platforms, and we will respond to them.
Okay, and I think we are flashing that information where they can, where people can reach out to NACC to report these kinds of illegal activities. So, okay, so I would like to get your final message regarding to this issue. So, what is your message to mothers or families who are currently in desperate situations who are being tempted to sell their babies so that they can make their ends or make their ends meet?
Yes, yes. So to those individual or couples who wish to adopt a child, there's no other way but the legal way, the NACC way, which is the legal process of adoption. Otherwise, they compromise their parental rights, the child's legal rights, and their future, the future of the child and the future of their family. One can always contest the legality of the adoption. If you did not go through the legal process of adoption. And with this premise, a child cannot grow up feeling loved, nurtured, and secured if their adoption did not go through the legal process. So besides those buyers will also be held liable for illegal adoption, child trafficking, child abuse. There's no escaping for them on the rule of law. So again, our office, the NECC, through our regional alternative childcare offices all over the country. All regions of the Philippines, we have our regional offices. They are accessible and located nationwide, and we are more than prepared to assist them all throughout their adoption journey.
Mm, all right, very well said. And with that, thank you so much for joining us in the program to explain and give us some insights regarding these illegal activities and how can Filipinos can actually curb this kind of heinous activities involving our innocent infants, and at the same time putting this people behind these activities accountable. So thank you so much, Director Imelda R. Ronda, the Director 3 of Operations and Services of National Authority for Child Care.
Yes, thank you, Sir Jerome, and to your viewers.
All right. And before we go, we will have to repeat the numbers to call or to contact if they have found suspicious activities involving the illegal sale of babies. So that's 0917 or plus 63 917 322 6222. Their Facebook pages, which is National Authority for Childcare, also on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and they have a website that's nacc.gov.ph, and they can be or you can send an email on the through the email adoption@nacc.gov.ph. And with that, we now conclude this edition on Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service, together with our technical team headed by Mr. Milo Junella. On Warcast and audio streaming, we have Hiro Lucero and Justine Osias. This is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.